Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2024 horror film Mr. Crocket. The film is co-written and directed by Brandon Espe and it stars Jerrica Hinton, Ada Gavin, Akeem Black and Elvis Nolasco. Right, the film basically follows this character called Mr. Crocket who has aspirations to be like this children's TV presenter. He loves kids. He's got like his own cable show at one point, and it doesn't go particularly well. And the film explains all that later on. And he ends up becoming like a vengeful spirit that comes back and essentially kidnaps your children. And he does that. He comes through the TV to do that, and he targets children whose parents kind of neglect them or say they've had enough of them or want them dead, or even if it's in a moment of frustration, Mr. Crocket will target those children, come through the TV, take his revenge on the parents and kidnap the child. He does this with one particular parent, Summer, who is determined to get her child back, and she investigates this Mr. Crocket, figures out how, and then she's determined, to go up against Mr. Crocket to get her child back. Right, what are my thoughts on Mr. Crocket? Well, it's got a pretty interesting concept here. Now, any of you out there with children will know what it feels like when they're younger. It feels like your life is taken up just by children's TV programs constantly, just to kind of, keep them entertained, happy, and your life then becomes, it revolves around Thomas the Tank Engine, Bob the Builder, Fireman Sam, and In the Night Garden. And these are all British TV shows. I'm sure you've got great examples, like in America, like the Big Blue Bear and all that kind of stuff. And they almost become the parent, if you like, in some ways. And it kind of plays on that concept here, and it kind of taps into other things that you've seen before, like Poltergeist, like this entity living in the TV, it's coming out to steal the children. So it does borrow, from other things that have come before, but puts like this children's entertainer like twist on it. And I have to say, Elvis Nolasco, who plays this Mr. Crocket, who is just in the film I have just reviewed that's probably gone up just before this, called Carved. He plays like the TV reporter in that. Well, he's got a much bigger role here as Mr. Crocket, and he plays him quite well. Quite sinister, but also at the same time, I mean, again, that's something that you notice as a parent when you look at children's TV presenters. They're so negatively false, and they're also joyous and happy. It doesn't feel real. They don't feel like real people. It's like, kids don't pick up on that at a young age, but as an adult, it's like, oh, that's creepy. Well, he taps into that perfectly here in this film as this guy who is, trying to, in a lot of ways, hypnotize the children and creep the parents out, which he absolutely does. And he can flip it on a lid, this guy, by being this overly friendly character to this really sinister entity that is, prepared to punish the parents and steal the child, like literally hypnotize the child when he steals them, so he can entertain them forevermore, if you like. And he does that really well, and it's actually quite a nice performance by this guy. Well, I say nice; it's quite a sinister performance. And so then you've got this parent who teams up with another parent who supposedly lost their child, and they kind of go around investigating how they can kind of look to get the child back, and that is kind of the basis of the story here, and it works reasonably well. One thing that did take me by surprise here in this film was the kills. They were surprisingly graphic. Absolutely not what I expected. I almost expected it to And again, it tricked me because it's got this children's TV persona thing going off. I thought it was going to be quite mild and tame. And I suppose compared to other horror films that are out there these days, it is. But still, some of the kills are quite graphic. And the effects are quite fun as well. You've got like these, excuse me, you've got like these puppet effects for these his friends, like on the TV show. They've got like two personas. They've got like the friendly persona that's in the TV show and the demonic persona, and they're all puppets and they're all done by puppets. But it's exactly what you'd expect, and it's both terrible effects but great effects at the same time, and it does its job. And it kind of manages to get a little bit under your skin, coupled with the performance, obviously, by the guy playing Mr. Crocket, these puppets, this awful song that he keeps singing that just gets really, it really gets under your skin, and you can't get it out of your head, and he just constantly sings it, and it just kind of puts you on edge a little bit. The whole thing puts you on edge. I don't think they got anywhere near close to realizing the potential of this character, but it definitely left it open for more. I'd possibly like to see this explored a little bit more, a little bit deeper. I think they've only really scratched the surface of the potential of this film or character or concept, and I can't recall really much in the way of anything similar to this. Obviously, there are some things like Poltergeist, and then you have that Imaginary, was it earlier this year, and stuff like that, and they're kind of playing around with that idea a little bit, but this is, a full-on demonic children's TV presenter, and it kind of goes for it hell for leather. There's a little bit of lightness to it, there's a little bit of tongue-in-cheek to it, because that comes from the performance by this Elvis Nolasco playing Mr. Crocket. But there's a level of sinisterness to it as well, and there's a real darkness to it as well, and I think the film kind of captures that reasonably well as well. I'm saying well a lot there, aren't I? So if the concept sounds interesting to you, give this one a go. This one surprised me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. When I put it on, I thought it was going to be absolute garbage. But, don't get me wrong. Again, this is not going to make anybody's top 10 list of the year, even horror films or anything like that. But it is definitely a watchable one with a fun concept, and one that you might want to check out on this Halloween night. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed checking out this review. I will, of course, be back with plenty more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon. I'm going to go and put my teeth back in now.